A standing ovation for Ron Isley, one of an extraordinary number of people who she made to feel like they were so important. She was texting, she was keeping in touch with them, and I was saying, Marvet, before we went to listen to him sing, you know, her granddaughter talking about how she would cook for her and her best friend. So she is the woman who's in a gold casket, wearing a gold gown, and did the changes of outfit, but also somebody who had this extraordinary human connection with so many people.
Even though Aretha Franklin was a queen and will be revered as a queen, she was never above the people. She was the people. And that's the reverence and love and dignity and respect and honor that you see throughout the thread of this service. You see the love, the adoration, because she really lived a life that is reflective of the character and integrity that she wanted to see in humanity. She very much, when you look at Detroit and when you look at how she contributed to the civil rights movement, when you look at how artists were inspired and really championed their own inner talents because it was fueled by her support, you really understand what you're seeing today, and you understand these tributes in a more meaningful way. Everything that Aretha Franklin did throughout her entire life and in this service was deliberate. Her handprint is on this service, just like her handprint was on every aspect of her career. And I think it speaks volumes for someone to be treasured, but it speaks even higher volumes when those people are symbolic of the excellence that she so eloquently represented. And it's moving for me to see some of the people who are speaking, because you know that these real experiences is what she left behind. You know, you can remember a photo and you can remember a lot of her music, but what I believe everyone there today will remember is how she made them feel, which is why some of her biggest records, and when you talk about Queen of Soul, when you talk about, you know, there are a lot of artists who make music, but they don't make music that resonates with your soul and makes your spirit sing the way that Aretha did.
You know, as we see that Jesse Jackson, who I think it was about a year ago, announced that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's, but something, of course, that he had in common with the great Queen of Soul is that they were both civil rights leaders. She was extraordinary in her support and unwavering. And he, of course, is a reverend. But there is something else, Marvet, that she just didn't grow up in that church. She is of the church. Everything she did, she lived, she practiced. Her quiet generosity, altruism, came from that place.
Absolutely, and you know, it's reflective in the service. It's reflective in the diversity of the service. It's reflected in the diversity of artists who are paying tribute. But if you listen to the symbolism of the music that we're hearing, it shows you the life that Aretha Franklin led, and she led it in a way that was, you know, it was expressed in her values and the moral compass that we saw throughout her life. A lot of the quiet things she did not for the celebration, but she did it because it was true to how she was raised. And, you know, a lot of artists don't take who they are with them because they believe that it can in some way be a liability. They believe that they want their artistry to come before the fabric of who they are. But she took her DNA everywhere. She took it to White Houses. She took it to, you know, just everywhere she lived, and everywhere she walked. The walk of her faith went with her.